Hello, Renee.
Hi, hello, Manuel. It's good
Uh,
to see you.
it's good to see you. I'm very happy that you accepted our invitation to come to Brussels next year in March. So the 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have our ESTD, AFTD conference. And you're going to be, I would say, giving something on 2 days. So one first day at the pre-conference workshop, you will bring a whole day about, well, the title is Stuck in Therapy, using a trauma and dissociation lens to find the way forward. And then the second day, so the 10th of March, you will give a plenary session on dissociation, relationship, and attachment. So maybe you can explain to the people who are watching the video, all the professionals, what the content will be of the plenary session.
Good, thank you very much, Manuel, also for the invitation. During the plenary, I want to present on dissociation, relationship, and attachment. And I specifically want to look at what are the types of attachment-related traumas or relationship-related traumas that can cause dissociation. I think historically we are looking at traumas as the underlying aspect, specifically complex trauma, which is causing dissociation. But I think very often we miss the relational trauma, specifically the attachment, the early attachment trauma, which could either have been a disorganized attachment, which we know that according to Liotti, there is a relationship between the disorganized attachment, which can then cause dissociation in children. But I think what is very interesting, also what I find in practice, is that you have, when there are attachment disruptions or loss of attachment figures, you can also have dissociation. And I think those aspects, I want to say the area of attachment and the relationship to dissociation is not well known. Most of the people still focus on trauma. They focus on single traumas that we know, which might be an accident, which might be medical trauma, which might be abuse or neglect. And all of that are true because I guess in the vast majority of cases we have those areas that is causing the dissociation. But there is certainly an other area that sometimes, in the absence of known traumas and high levels of dissociation, we need to go and look at the relational trauma and attachment traumas that the child might have had.
Okay, thank you. I think it's indeed a very important question you propose here, to talk more about the relationship and the attachment in the relationship. So then your pre-conference workshop, that will be a full day, using a trauma and dissociation lens to find the way forward. Is that what will be the contents of this workshop?
Right, the content of this workshop is going to be stuck in therapy, which is a question using a trauma and dissociation lens to find the way forward. First of all, I am looking at what type of cases are usually sent to therapists, and I think the vast majority of the cases, there are complex behaviors, inappropriate behaviors, there might be emotional difficulties. We think about high levels of anxiety, depression, we think about self-harm, etc. And in terms of behaviors, of course, you can get a lot of violent aggressive behaviors, inappropriate behaviors, disruption in the classroom, for example, disruption at home. And what is very interesting to me is that it appears that the therapists are actually trained to look at the symptoms and try to reduce the symptoms. And what I have found is that many therapists who are coming to me, who I'm supervising, very quickly get stuck. They try to use all the methods that they've learned, but they are stuck. Nothing really changes. Or alternatively, there's another pattern which seems to me very sad, but that is reality, and that is that children have therapy, and then it doesn't work. They go to the next therapist and the next therapist. So we often see children with multiple therapies that they've already received with no change. And therefore, I think over years, I have tried to find the reason for struggling and getting stuck with some children. And then I started to assess all children for trauma and dissociation right from the start. Well, that was very interesting because I started to find that there are children who will score in the clinical range for trauma and for dissociation with no trauma history, according to the parents and according to the child. But interestingly enough, as I was continuing and I was starting to work with him, the children would say something that is interesting. For example, sometimes I feel very young. Or the child would regress in front of me. And then when I say, "Oh, who's speaking now?" They say, "I don't know." And I say, can you draw the one that is speaking now? And that might be a much younger part. And in those cases, the trauma was very often due to early attachment disruptions, or it was due to very early loss of an attachment figure. And therefore, I think it's very important for me to share this information. But not only this, you can also get stuck when you work with dissociation and with trauma processing. For example, children can deny, they can distract all of the time, they can refuse to work, they can be very unrealistic about their expectations of therapy. And so I want to look at various places that therapists are getting stuck, whether they are treating children with behavioral or emotional difficulties, or whether they are treating children with trauma and dissociation. And of course, in both my plenary as well as in the workshop, I will use multiple examples of cases, and I will also have some discussions about how I went about to treat these children.
Okay, thank you, Renée. It looks very, very promising. So we are curious to see what it will, I would say, bring as content. So you explained us, but I think we want to know a bit more. Than I hope people will attend. A lot of people will attend your workshop. So thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.